Hey everyone, it's Ornella Hernandez with Web3 TV, and I'm in Paris at Paris Blockchain Week. It is day 2. I am sitting down here with Stefan, who is the founder of Truflation. How are you today?
Yeah, great, thank you. Amazing turnout here, and we just had a great panel. So yeah, glad to be here, and thank you for taking the time out and learning about Truflation.
Of course. So is it your first time at Paris Blockchain Week?
Yep, it's my first time, yes.
And what do you think about it so far?
It's amazing. I mean, a lot of foot field, a lot of people on the floor. So foot traffic's pretty high. People are interested in blockchain, but to me, it's interesting. It's much more institutional. It's less developer focused. It's more sort of the money industry trying to understand how, or it's businesses trying to understand how do I work in blockchain? What do I need to do? What are the different companies out there? What are the different blockchains? How do I engage with those? So that's sort of a big takeaway today.
Yes, definitely, I agree. I think in general, the French Web3 community is a lot more focused on like the culture side of things. So less institutional, but more like whether it's gaming or for retail. So I find that really interesting. And you're right, the turnout is amazing. Day 1 was so many people. Day 2, it's turning out to be the same. So Stefan, we just did a panel, like you said. We spoke about tokenization and what that means for investors out there. So I'd like to get, maybe you could just, if you remember, a couple nuggets of what we set up on stage. We can just say it to our audience again.
Yeah, so I mean, I launched Truflation. I've been in crypto for over a decade, and I felt we needed to have a source of truth that was independent, providing the information on how an economy is performing. And that's really what we set out to do. What is that one metric that really matters, and show how an economy is performing? And it's really inflation, right? Inflation's tied to all the price of goods in a specific economy. And historically, it's done by the same people that are managing the economy and that are defining how to support the economy. And they're writing, not only are they doing the actual calculations, they're also setting the rules and the framework as to how to calculate inflation. And so we felt there was a way to innovate there, update it every single day, have multiple sources, and take a developer approach to building out a solution like this. And that's what we did. So we launched Truflation about 3 years ago. We're today 30 people building out. We have 18 million data points, real-world asset price feeds. We source it from three different price feeds per item that we track. And we put that daily on the blockchain, so it's transparent, number 1. It's immutable, number 2, we can't go back and change it. And number 3, anybody can subscribe to it and use it.
Okay, gotcha. So I like the name because you're trying to be a reference point for commodities and assets out there, but is there a true price, like a more better version for these commodities or assets that you guys are focusing on?
I mean, we try to be the true price, and what we're finding is you get true prices in the real world. So in traditional finance, you know where you get the pricing from. But on the blockchain, smart contracts need a source of truth. They need to rely on a definitive reference point. And that's where we're sort of seeing the future growth, is as everything moves on-chain, where do they get the price of eggs, the price of commodities, the price of metals, the price of energy, etc. And so that's what Truflation is doing. That's what we're building out using the Truflation Stream Network. And to engage with the Truflation Stream Network, you use the Truth token.
Okay. Oh, the Truth token. Oh, I love that. So tell me a little bit more about partnerships or associations who you guys are working with specifically.
So we support multiple RWA blockchains that are specialized in supporting RWAs, some newer chains, some chains that you may not have yet heard of. We're working particularly with decentralized exchanges, prediction markets, lending protocols, as well as synthetic assets that are being built on the blockchain representing real-world assets. To source the data and the price feeds that we have over about 80 different sources. We have about 6 different partners that are actually helping us aggregate and consolidate and making the data composable in this data lake that we've been building out. And then we have analysts that create funky indexes. We were talking about these indexes. So we have carnivore index, we have a vegan index.
That's real, that wasn't just okay.
That is real. And just think of the memification. We have a Big Mac index, we have a Rolex index, so we're really working on different indexes that people want to trade and find out and I guess speculate around, right? Yeah.
Well, like you mentioned, prediction markets is a big trend right now. I mean, it just shows that people love to gamble, which is nothing new. But now we've put in crypto into the mix and we can predict on whatever it is. Yeah, politics, sports, I don't know. Is there something that you're particularly keen on when it comes to the prediction markets trend?
So one of the companies is Numbers.game. They're developing a binary prediction market for inflation. So every single day you can bet, is inflation going to go up or down? If it's flat, it moves to the next day and the pot goes bigger. So that's as simple as it can get, right? And they've done it really well. So the website actually has really nice audio in the background. So you're hearing, it's like on a bullpen on the floor, you know, where people are shouting price feeds and stuff in the background. So it's actually, yeah, those are things that we're working on and we've also got a partnership with Overlay Network, and they're trying to predict everything. So what else could you predict on? The more exotic, the more interesting it becomes.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check out that website you mentioned. Is there anything else that you would like to see more of within this industry when it comes specifically to tokenization or to Truflation? Whether that's just, you know, more people on board in the industry or more better tech or better UI, what do you think is needed?
So I'm a big fan of all these indexes, right? So why? They provide three things. Number one, it sets a benchmark. Number two, it has underlying elements in there. And then number three, so you can trade on the underlying, right? And then number three, it has an education element to it. Number one, I learn about the index, what is in there, how does the index work? And number two is I have a benchmark in that index. Is if I give you my money or if I invest, can I beat that benchmark because I'm interested in it? Or I can then go and invest in the underlying and see, can I outperform that? Can I be better than that? Or can I give you my money, you invest because you're super smart, you know how to trade, and you've got a good sense for where markets are going, and you beat that benchmarks, and then you're saying to the market, I beat that benchmark, this is how I do it.
So more like clearer guidelines or more transparency, or?
It creates more transparency in the end, but how do we get more indexes out there as they meet the different cultural needs, right? So we've been talking to NFT companies, to metaverses, you know, sort of, I'm really interested in the gaming space. How do we create a unique index that acts as a benchmark, right? Yeah, and then ultimately, one of the big things we talked about on the panel is how do we get liquidity to these indexes? And I think so creating these indexes and adding liquidity to these indexes is something that I'm spending most of my time on right now.
And do you believe that we should work towards a fully tokenized, blockchain-enabled world where everyone's able to invest in anything and everything? Is that a good or bad future that we should strive for?
I think the future is inevitable. So I think we're going down that path. Whether we like it or not, it's how do we embrace it? How do we find our role as individuals within that environment? Is it good or bad? I think it's great in the sense that we cut out a lot of middlemen and we only select, you know, as Sonia was saying on the stage, you know, how do we cut out all the middlemen? But then also, we also enable costs get reduced by cutting out, you know, if you look at in some cases, you have 7 toll takers between a creation of a product to the consumption of a product. Each one takes a bit of a toll, and that adds to the premium of the product. So we can spread that out and break that down. That'll be a good help as well.
Yeah, hopefully we get to that soon. All right, now a last question I wanted to ask. If you could pick a significant moment in your life, an important memory, and tokenize it as an NFT on chain, what would that memory be? It could be in your professional life or in your personal life. Something that you can share with us on camera.
Yeah, I mean, I think, how can I tokenize the journey of a startup? And the experiences you go through as a startup, where, you know, the tenacity, the persistence, the doubters that are out there, and just, how do you tokenize that? I wouldn't even know. I would love to see you. I would love to see a place where I have maybe a memory, and that then gets converted through AI into an image, and then we create an NFT associated with that. Yeah.
Okay, that's like what I'm getting at, but since we don't have that yet.
But how is that then valuable, right? So how would that then, number one, it's really valuable to me. Who else would that be valuable to?
Oh, it could be like a soulbound token if it's just like for you. Yeah.
Just for me. But I mean, you also see biographies, right? So people do follow and read biographies, and they become super popular.
Yeah. They immortalize their lives in one way or another. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Stefan, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
No, thank you. And thank you for this opportunity. And look forward to seeing you in Dubai next week, right? You're going to be there. You're also got a stand. Are you going to do video interviews there as well?
I will be doing more interviews myself. So if anybody wants to chat with me, let me know. And check out Truflation. Reach out to Steven if you have any questions, and stay tuned for more interviews.